Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Real Talk with ZTS, where we, as brothers, search for ways to share our voices while having a good time just talking, having those real talk conversations, our shared experiences, and reacting to random topics and articles. As we always say, we all have something to share, and we look forward to sharing and building that community of stories that we can all relate to. Now enjoy the episode.
Yep, let's go, man.
What's going on, man?
All right, what a long week so far.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I'm ready to get the ball moving, and I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
your week probably seems longer than mine for
Yeah,
for
dude,
other
it's-
for other reasons. For other reasons.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it. It's nothing too bad. It's for after almost 10 years, man. Well, not even, probably like 8 some years, but yeah, finally got into a car accident. Luckily, no one was injured, nothing too bad, but it's just like out of all the accidents, not like I wish, if you're gonna get in an accident,
Oh
let
yeah,
it be worse. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
because this was so ridiculously like, I have no clue how it happened. Honestly, the other driver could have been severely distracted, when they're on their phone, but it's like, so I'm driving on the main arterial, so no matter what, I have the right of way, and
Mhm.
it's a 2-lane arterial. I'm on the right lane, slow lane. It's rainy. It's like early evening, 4 or 5-ish, but it's still bright out. So, but headlights on, all that stuff because it's raining, and I'm driving. There's at least 4 or 5 cars behind me. We're all going like all the speed limit, and off these main arterials, there's like all these different right hand turns, to these residentials, and there was a car in front of me that like slowed down significantly. I don't know, their car just sucked, right?
Yeah.
Where like they basically got everyone to a stop, so I was right behind them. I stopped right behind them, and all the cars behind me basically stopped as well, and this car, no blinker on, but I could tell they're turning down this residential street. They did that. All's clear. I step on the gas lightly, to 2-3 miles per hour, continuing on my right of way. And that car that was waiting at the stop sign on that same street that the car in front of me turned down decides to, you know what? Out of all that time when that slow car in front of me decided to take its time turning down the street, I'm gonna decide to go when you're already like, halfway in front of me. And so it was just like, and then so yeah, like I said, even though fortunate no injuries because it was slow enough where I was able to react, like slam my brakes, turn my wheel away from them, but the damage was already done. Like he already, came out. And by the way, man, I mean, like, all right, from any sane person to anybody who's not influenced, whether by drugs, alcohol, or distraction by phone, can tell that, dude, you're going to be sitting there for a while. There was nowhere because I think he was trying to make a left or to cross my right away to go to the other side and go the opposite direction. But
Mhm.
even then, remember I told you there's like 5 cars behind me. Who knows on the faster lane, the left lane, how many cars were speeding by. And then obviously on the other side, it's just as busy. Like if you were gonna go, it was when we were all at a dead standstill waiting for the car in front of me to turn down your street. But not gonna out him about any other details. I'll tell you offline. But my guess is that he was really distracted.
Yeah.
The niceness in me thinks that the way that he kind of jumped out was he was probably trying to step on the gas slightly to kind of peek out, a little bit, just to get a better view of like the traffic around him. But because of his distraction, he pressed the gas a little too hard and went all the way into the lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bottom line, his insurance claimed full liability, so the case is pretty much case closed. It's just the headache of getting the car repaired. Fortunate, the repairs, like I said, is I mean, I still got to pay deductible, but the insurance is gonna kind of cover my deductible, but everything else is paid for. My insurance covers original parts, so everything's going to be original manufacturer parts in the repair. Yeah, so everything's smooth, but it's just kind of the headache of like gotta get all this done. And yeah, and his car, which was bigger than mine, was actually more damaged because when we all pulled over and looked at it, he had something leaking. So when he hit me, he punctured something, whether it was like it didn't smell like anything. We both smelt it together. It's but it had like a pinkish fluid.
Pinkish fluid.
Yeah. Well, again, this was during we were standing out in the rain, cloudy, right? But it did look pinkish.
It's so funny to me. Well, not funny, but like when you said we were standing in the rain, and I'm like, rain, as if I still live in Washington. I'm like, yeah, no, I had to.
No, it was raining that. It was raining that weekend. Yeah. We were standing out in the rain, and like, yeah, I mean. Yeah, but it didn't smell like anything. But then again, I'm not a car expert, so I can't really.
It was probably some coolant of some nature.
That's what we thought.
Most coolants are like fluorescent type of looking
like
colors
greenish,
anyway.
right?
Yeah, green, pink, yellow. Usually,
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what kind of coolant it was. I guess.
Right.
I don't know because where was it leaking from? The passenger side?
No, it was leaking from so where he hit me the most was his left front bumper where his left lights are.
Oh, so the driver's side.
Yes.
Driver's side? Oh, okay.
Give me a second. Did my AirPods die? Okay. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, weird.
Seem a little different, but
my AirPods cut out, so I couldn't hear you. So yeah. Anyways, a malfunction. But he hit me on the driver. His driver's side hit my passenger side front bumper, and so the passenger side, where his front lights are, it was directly leaking something right under that. So, not sure what that is. Do you know?
And you said it was like pinkish?
It looked pinkish, yeah.
It was probably a coolant. My guess is it's kind of coolant. If it was like red, then I'd be concerned for that guy.
Yeah.
Because if it's red, it's probably like power steering fluid.
Yeah.
Or like transmission fluid if it's like like an automatic car or something. But yeah, no, if it's pink, it was probably coolant of some nature.
Yeah.
I don't know what that would have been. Some sort of
yeah. But
I don't know. I mean, it just helps the car from overheating, or the engine rather. But
yeah. But still.
Yeah.
But boys and girls, I mean, the older I get, the more that I press on it. Please pay attention. Don't drink and drive. Don't be under the influence, because sometimes, more than just an accident is on the line, but
yeah, just imagine if you were driving any faster than what you were driving.
Yeah.
Because where were you going? Like
I said, I was literally at a stop because the car that I was behind.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
down the street. So I literally maybe was 2-3 miles per hour by the time he hit me. Yeah. But like I said, so imagine the width of a street, right?
Yeah.
So his street that he was waiting. By the way, he had like 4 or 5 cars behind him too. So we had witnesses after witnesses. I don't know who reported anything. I don't know if anyone did. I doubt anyone did. But I mean, if there was going to be witnesses, there was plenty.
You had plenty of witness. It's like that. Reminds me of that one time when we were in Portland.
Which one?
Well,
was I with you on that one?
I think you were with me. Weren't you with us? I know there was like
Which trip?
Jomar and some of I don't remember which trip it was, but
The only trip, the last Portland trip, Oregon trip I went on was that last one right before the pandemic. When we all went to
I think that
Pacific City.
was I think that was it. I think we were on the way back and we stopped in
Yeah.
Portland and there was like they where did we stop? We stopped to get some sort of I think we were at a bakery,
Hmm.
coffee shop. It was right next door to a card store.
Yeah, yeah. No, I wasn't there.
Oh, okay. You
Yeah.
might have
I might have left or we split up. Yeah.
Well, there was like this. I mean, it was like a 2-lane road, right? And
Yeah.
this person like rear-ended somebody in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
So it was like, but yeah, it was very dramatic.
It's like why,
Yeah,
yeah,
but it
no,
was,
yeah.
but yeah, there was witnesses. I mean, neither of you were going to be like, "Oh my God, my back,"
Yeah.
and like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you hit me going so fast." And we were just
Yeah.
like sitting there laughing because I was like, "Bro, he hit you going like 3 miles an hour. You need to chill."
Yeah. I mean, it was to the point like, everyone was at a standstill.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I was able to, after we got hit, he was able to reverse back into
Yeah.
his
Oh, into
residential street.
Yeah.
And then he walked over to us because I was just kind of like what the fuck, like just taking it in. So he came over to check on us, like literally in the middle of the street, and was like, "Hey, you guys okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's get off the main arterial. Let's meet over there." So like everyone was at a standstill enough where I was able to put my blinkers on, slightly reverse in my lane, and then turn back down that residential street that he hit me on. And so but what's done is done. Like I said, it could have been worse. My fear was like, it could have been worse where I got a total loss in my car, right? And for those who've never been in an accident, total loss doesn't always have to mean your entire car is like damaged beyond repair. It could be as simple as you have an old car, like let's say a 20-year-old car where um I know from experience, my parents had a really old car where they got rear-ended, not their fault, and the tire rear bumper came off and like part of the back of it, and it's just the back bumper. Everything was still drivable, but because it was such an old car, the parts cost way too much to replace that the insurance was willing to cover. They consider that a total loss,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but luckily, no, this is not a total cost. It's still a relatively new car, right? I mean, you'll have the same year model. So yeah, it worked out. But like I said, ladies, boys and girls, please pay attention. Um, one of my running jokes that I talk with my nieces about when I drive, I say, my oldest is about 2 years away from being able to get her a permit. And I always joke with her, and they both laugh at me, but I'm gonna keep grinding this into their heads. I'm like, they think it's funny because the way that I tell the story, right? The story that I tell is that if you're driving your friends, in a packed car, do not have a party in the car. I don't care how hip your friends are, how much they want to blast the music. You do not have a party in the car, or you are the responsible one where you don't party with them. And then so they obviously, teenage girls, right? They'll take that story and make it a joke and like laugh at how ridiculous it sounds. But us as like seasoned, old heads who driven for, over 30 years, 20, 30 years, we know how serious that can be. So yeah,
For sure.
yeah. But yeah, no, things are looking good. So still going through the process. Tomorrow is a big process where finally get to drop it off, and then so I'm kind of hoping that the turnaround time for repair isn't so long, even though we do get a rental card out of it. But
Yeah.
the hassle of having a rental car, and also my insurance doesn't even fully cover the cost of the rental car. It's like, what the hell,
Yeah. Nah. What are you paying? Like
um
$30 a day.
About
50.
$37-ish
Yeah.
a
I was
day.
gonna say usually it's somewhere between like 30 and 20 or
Yeah, well,
50,
my
depending.
insurance is covering
Yeah, yeah. Well,
$22 of it.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm yeah.
Yeah. So basically out of pocket, I'm covering about $10 a day.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds about right. Yeah, and
Yeah.
most insurance out of pocket, it's going to be somewhere between 10 to 25, 30 a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
After insurance kind of covers everything.
Yeah.
I
But,
mean,
you know,
that's why we pay
uh,
into it, right?
yeah, seriously. So, like I said, sometimes dealing with insurance can be a headache, but I'm not gonna lie, everyone I dealt with so far throughout this whole process has been really great. From the repair shop folks to my insurance agent to
Their
even the
insurance
guy
folks.
himself,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, just
Yeah, I think that's nice when things actually go like clean like that.
yeah, very
Man,
clean.
fuck, dude, because I've been
Yeah,
in, like there's been a few times where I've been rear-ended and like
yeah, yeah,
I'll get all their information and like their insurance is lapsed or it becomes a hit and run situation
yeah,
because they avoid everything and there's no way to get
yeah,
in contact with them and then
yeah.
it's
I
just a
totally,
whole
yeah. I'm
met
glad it worked out.
and
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out because I totally forgot. I got a lot of information. I took pictures all over the car, his license plate,
yeah.
got a copy of his insurance. But I was like, after I left, I was like, fuck, I forgot to take a photo of his ID, just in
Oh
case.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but luckily, yeah, luckily everything was quick. Like, for example, um the Monday following, the business day following, I called my insurance agent called me. She was like, well, I got to get you on record officially, recording, blah blah blah, tell your story. And
Yeah.
she's like, just heads up, this I don't know the situation yet. From experience, this might not be clean. But after I told my story, she was like, oh yeah, that's case shut. And then literally after we hung up, 30 minutes later, she texted me saying the other insurance case closed. They they took full responsibility. So I was like, oh, nice.
That's insane because like I
Yeah.
feel like most of the time obviously someone will
Yeah.
fabricate something
Yeah.
and then it
Seriously.
goes into like this whole thing and you're like, God damn it, dude.
I mean, dude, I was pretty quick though. Like so this is my first this is not my second accident. My first
Yeah.
accident was, was pretty severe. That
Yeah.
one was very bad.
Yeah.
But this one was like, you know, like baby steps compared to that one. And first, my wife was with me, so I told her immediately why I get out of the car to talk with the guy, call the cops and then call the insurance right after, right? And dude, so the cops was like, this is the first time I heard of this. The cops were like literally were like, ask two questions. Are you blocking the road? No. Okay. Well, how bad is the damage? Okay. That doesn't seem too significant. Just we're not going to come out. Just go ahead and file a report online. And it was like, what the fuck? And
Bro,
then we
yeah.
called our insurance and they asked basically the same thing, was just like, just file the thing online. Luckily for me, I don't know, maybe it was because it was also good timing on my part. Not that the guy who hit me, he seemed trustworthy, but like besides the point, maybe it was because as soon as I got to my in-laws house, that's where we were headed to,
Yeah.
I immediately borrowed their computer, filed the police report, filed the insurance claim like right away. So that was probably a big part of why things went so smoothly, maybe. But
Yeah.
yeah, either way, it turned out really really well. So the only thing now is just hoping that uh my repair doesn't take too long.
Yeah.
They said the repair is not even an issue. It's more of like so many parts are hard to get these days.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, but it's funny because I think I talked to you about this. I've been meaning to like get my windshield replaced for the longest time.
Yeah.
And so this repair shop also specializes in windshield replacements. So I was just like, you know what, man? Knock on wood, not that I wanted this to happen, but it was like, perfect timing. Let's just
Yeah.
get it all done, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so even though it's not included in my insurance, but I have to pay out of pocket, but still I get, my car repaired with original factory parts, and then I get my windshield replaced all in one. So it's like, there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, instead of like me continue to drag it on, right? Because my windshield's still good, but like, I'm scared of the winter months because there are some pretty significant crack like dings
Yeah.
on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's the scary part about driving or like living rather in a
Oh yeah.
state that gives you crazy things. I
Yeah.
always thought about that. I was like, man, the next rock that hits this is gonna be like that
Yeah.
cold
Seriously.
that ice probably messed with it. And now I'm like
Yeah.
waiting. I'm just waiting.
Oh man. All right. I got a couple quick updates. It's time for our article reactions. Quick and easy this week. First one, I thought this was pretty cool. Kind of in the midst of all this is the month of every year, the new iPhone season, right? Every new
Yes.
iPhone coming out. My wife is gonna upgrade. So, for me, I still love my phone right now. I have the 14, still love it. I probably won't upgrade until the 20, maybe, or knock on wood that this phone breaks. But I'm probably gonna hold on to this one for a long, long time until the 20 version, maybe. But in the midst of it all, well, real quick, are you upgrading? Ali upgrading?
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, we both have 13 Pro Maxes.
Oh yeah, those are
like
still good.
we're still pretty decent
Yeah,
at the moment.
those are still good. Yeah.
Yeah, until my phone like is literally like, when your phone starts getting old and your battery starts going and
Yep.
it's like your
Yep.
phone
Yeah.
it actually starts slowing down, then
Yeah.
I will consider
Exactly.
doing those things. But until then, it's like if I don't unplug my phone and it drops from like 100 to like 78,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh shit, my
I
battery's
mean, to
dead.
be honest, I don't even use like me. I don't use social media like that. So actually, my battery drain isn't too significant.
Yeah,
So even like right now, my battery life is I think 90% right now, or
yeah.
89%.
I'm curious what
So
mine is actually.
yeah.
I'm about
So
to look now.
actually, let me look because you know how Apple, the conspiracies that every time there's a new release, Apple tries to kill your your
Yeah.
phone internally. Um, let me see. Where
Let's
am I?
see.
Yeah, 89%. So I'm still pretty good.
Yeah,
Um,
mine 85% for mine, which isn't bad.
um, yeah, it's not too bad at all. And so, but yeah, I won't be upgrading unless I'm forced to upgrade where like Apple says they no longer support, the software for my phone. I think that's when it's about time. But anyways, this article I read beyond the point, I think this is pretty cool for the future of us, knock on wood, if as we get older, you'll hear um so outside of all the iPhone news, uh, Apple's new AirPods Pro 2. Um, so it just got approved by the FDA that it marks one of the first time the FDA authorized over-the-counter hearing aid softwares because the AirPods Pro 2 has just been authorized to become a hearing aid or being used as a hearing aid.
Mm.
And I thought that was really cool because I never really looked into it, right? Because I don't need hearing aids. But hearing aids, I mean, just like any medical thing, is very expensive. And FDA's recently, as of I think a couple years ago, have allowed third party, technology companies to join the game to kind of, not make it a monopolize where it's so expensive because some competitors on the market, I mean, it ranged everywhere from $99 for a pair of hearing aids to like almost 7,000. And Apple kind of falls in between there where it's about $249 you're paying for the AirPods. But it does require, like subscription or prescription. So you do
Yeah.
have to like, you can't just get it and activate it for fun. And obviously you need an iPhone to activate it. But I don't know, man. The future is looking bright as we get older. There's gonna be all
Yeah.
these tech.
Hey man,
Um,
yeah, no, seriously, because it's like, I
yeah.
mean, even watches at this point, like Apple watches,
Oh
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
whole like fall detection and everything else too.
yeah. Like
From the however many iterations ago at this
you no
point.
longer need those
Yeah,
old
yeah, yeah.
daytime commercials or the the
Yeah.
poor grandma falls over and she has to
Yeah.
tap
She has to click the
necklace.
button, or god
Yeah.
dang it, what's that thing called?
Fuck, what is it?
We'll
Life alert.
life alert.
Yeah, life alert. But yeah, you're right. Like the future is our phones and our tech, Apple Watches and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that is
Well, yeah,
already.
because even the new
Yeah.
phones too, it's like what was it, like crash detection?
Yep, crash
Too,
detection. I
it's
don't know
just
what
like,
happened to that. Like that was such a big deal on like the iPhone 14,
yeah.
and then like now it's just like it's whatever.
Yeah, it's there, and now it's
Yeah,
actually like built into cars too. So it's
yeah,
like if you know how it was OnStar, but now it's like you can hook everything up to your phone in the cloud and everything. So
yeah.
it'll like instantly call police anyways, even if you don't necessarily pay for the
Right,
OnStar subscription or something.
right.
But yeah, no, it's kind of like one of those things, and it's like, oh, geez, all right. So yeah, technology,
Yeah,
man, it is crazy.
yeah. It really is. Um, Here's the last one. I thought this was pretty cool. You know, if obviously we're in our lifetimes, we probably have a slim to none chance of ever being elected president and retiring with a lifetime Secret Service following you, right? So
Mhm.
as common folks, how much do you think you would spend yearly to or annually even or yeah yearly to have your own hired bodyguard slash Secret Service?
How much would I be paying?
How much do you think? Yeah,
Well, I mean, it's 24-hour service, is it not?
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. As a
Yeah.
former president. Well, isn't that
No, I'm talking about in general, us common
oh, in
folks
general.
who,
Yeah,
let's
us
say,
common folk. Got it.
let's say us and I'm bundling multimillionaires in this and billionaires, right? If you wanted to
Yeah.
hire your own similar Secret Service, how much you think we're paying out of pocket?
Shit. How much do each of those guys make? I mean, their life is on the line, right? How much do
Pretty
cops
much,
make?
man.
That's not even
No, I think this is beyond
no,
cops.
well, no,
This is
it is. It
yeah,
is.
yeah.
That's what I'm like.
Like
Trying to
I
think,
while
like,
you're
what
thinking, I feel like
it has to
please.
be. No, well, go ahead. Go
Yeah,
whatever you were about
I
to
was
say.
gonna say, um, all respects to our people who serve, and so correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like, the police are like, I'm sworn to serve, right? And then
Yeah.
it's like Secret Service is like, I'm sworn to die for who I'm,
Yeah,
protecting,
yeah.
right? So like, I feel like that right there, that that what you solemnly swear is already a different pay raise.
Yeah.
But anyways, while you're thinking of that, so
I,
just recently, again, we don't talk about politics too much on this channel, but Elon Musk, outside of his career, right? Politically, if you pay attention, you know where he's leaning and what he's doing.
mm,
So he's been getting a lot of death threats recently, especially leading up to the election. And so he's just recently been found out to be spending almost on average $145,000 a month on
a
his
month? Jesus.
on his security detail.
I
Now,
mean,
yeah. Now that's
I-
just hear me out. I got a couple more data and then I want to hear what you're thinking. Now that's just Elon Musk.
right. But
Apple,
that for per
yeah.
month, but how many people is that?
Oh, I don't know, but still, that's a lot.
I mean, no, don't get me wrong, that is a lot. Because I
Yeah.
would say to the point, like, it's funny because I don't think Secret Service agents get paid enough for what they have to do.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
But I would
maybe
say, like,
maybe that's probably like two people, maybe,
I would imagine,
or
because
maybe
like
one, maybe.
I think the in here.
Oh no, it's a month. It's a month.
Yeah, it's per month,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
like, because you have to think, like, I think if we do our research here, the Secret Service, like, just in general, like, I feel like they barely make $100,000 a year
Yeah.
as like a Secret Service agent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's
So,
what whatever that
yeah.
is. For ease of things, I guess maybe we just like throw a number out there. let's just say $120,000. I don't think they make nearly that much money, depending on what state. Also, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but maybe say $120,000. So you make $10,000 a month as one person.
Yeah.
So you're telling me like, and granted, this I don't know what the labor laws with personal security is, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you said 140,000
Per month.
per
Yeah.
month.
Well, okay. If
So,
we break it up,
but I'm just saying, if you
let's make it easy. 100K. Let's say he has 10 people, each
Yeah.
making 10K a month. That's reasonable. I mean,
yeah. Well, that's what I'm
that
saying.
does
Yeah.
break
like 14 people.
what you're So that does break what you were saying. So they do make close to 90, 100K per person a year. Assuming that this 145K a month is split between like 10,
Yeah,
10
if
to
it's like 10
14
people, yeah, you're probably
Yeah.
getting around between, that. But
Yeah, man.
who knows if that's the case? I mean, because that's a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of man hours too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
only 14 people. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know
But-
logistically how many.
But anyways,
all
that's
that
just
stuff, so.
Elon Musk though, right?
Yeah,
He's
for
paying
sure.
because like check out the compared to other companies, right? In the last year alone, Apple spent almost total $820,000 to protect CEO Tim Cook. So that was just for the year. So
that
that's
was
about
okay.
that's
For
about
the year.
less than what Musk is spending per month
Yeah.
right now for the whole month. But for Jeff Bezos though, Amazon, since he's still, founder, so he still gets paid, like an employee. Check this out. It's still under wraps, but Amazon had to pay out of their budget 1.6 million a year for Jeff Bezos. However, they specifically noted that 1.6 million was just to cover part of his Secret Service detail. So that means that either Jeff Bezos paid the other portion out of pocket, but Amazon had to cover 1.6 million to cover a portion of that. And then obviously the most protected person, probably as protected as any president, or maybe even more, was Mark Zuckerberg. Last year, he paid about 23 million to be protected. He probably has not only hackers on call to protect him, but he probably has like hitmen left and right, having snipers out the cupboard.
Oh, for sure. I'm
Yeah.
curious to know like if part of that security detail goes to like, for Jeff Bezos, for instance, like Mackenzie Scott, his ex-wife.
Oh, probably.
You know what I mean? Granted, who knows? I mean, I'd imagine she would just pay for her own, but
right. But I feel like that's a security risk as well,
right?
Because you're close to.
So I mean,
yeah.
I mean, she instantly became like what the most the hell was I about to say? I don't even know.
Most like what? Targeted, most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not targeted, but like the wealthiest. Jesus Christ. Cannot think.
Yeah.
Wealthiest woman in the world at that point. Or whatever it was. Her net worth was like $35 billion. So I mean,
yeah.
Like she instantly like was like, whoop,
yep.
Because once they broke off, like, she got her own money too. I think she still owns like 4% stake too.
Yeah.
In Amazon, which whatever.
Yeah. But either way, man, that's a lot.
It's a lot. But then if you really think about it too, because like depending on how much you're in the public, right?
Yeah.
How many people are you hiring? You know what I mean?
Yeah. By the way, these are billionaires, and we all heard the math of being a billionaire, where you can spend multi-million dollars a second.
Yeah, it's crazy
for 50 years straight, and you still wouldn't touch $1 billion.
Yeah,
so obviously, like Mark Zuckerberg, dude, 23 million a year is like pennies to him.
Yeah, I mean that's probably what 10 people per, his outing.
Yeah,
essentially, you basically build like that circle of Secret Service security around you.
I mean, you have to. Yeah,
you have to though.
Like, I'm sure you have to. If you want to pay the people who you can trust the most, I mean, you have to pay them handsomely.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if I was a billionaire, like I would probably have 4 or 5 people tight in my circle, and I'll be like, hey, because you're putting your life on the line for me, I am guaranteeing your family line to be wealthy too. You know what I mean? If I was a billionaire, like, wouldn't that kind of like gain whoever is protecting you their trust? Like, hey, don't worry about your wife and kids and their wife and kids or husband and kids, right? Like, I'm I'm gonna pay, you know, your family for life kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would do as a billionaire. Shoot, if I had $1 billion and I know I can never spend it all, yeah, shoot, put it to my hire employees that I can trust, and and how I can guarantee their trust. I'm like, hey man, look, I know you have no loyalty at all to me, but just know that because I am trusting you right now, I am I am willing right now to give your wife and kids. Sure, I mean maybe it's a woman uh bodyguard as well. I'll give your husband and kids, and then their kids and their kids, set up for life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who'd say no, right?
I know, right?
Yeah. I mean, well, God forbid if it's like, now I'm thinking about movies, right? Movie plots. God forbid that specific secret agent had their kids and wife hostage, right? God
Oh
forbid,
yeah,
right?
for
Yeah.
sure.
Um, but but then again, right? It's like I'm sure, just like anything, you know, that wife and kids is living like in a, not really a safe house, but like living what do you call it? Like a secret life, right?
Yeah.
Where no one knows what they actually do, or
Right.
yeah. Ah, that's it, man. Short and
Cool.
sweet tonight. Gonna go on with the rest of our night. Before we wrap it up and say goodnight, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I had this random thought for, and we can save it for the next time, honestly,
Yeah.
whenever Ray stops avoiding us. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Um is that I don't know if you've heard about this, but there was I found it somewhere, but like a guy was saying that like he used to be in a league where if a quarterback in fantasy, this is fantasy for the listeners, if he used to be in a league, if a quarterback got a tackle, the tackle was worth like 100 points, and you
Oh
would basically
shit.
instantly lose to a team because it was like 100 points.
Yo,
So
that's so funny.
I thought it was funny, and I thought it was interesting, and this guy was
Yeah.
like talking or reminiscing about this one league, and it was like it was crazy when it did happen. So then so many people were just like, you need to start this, you need to create a league like this. So then this guy
Yeah.
created a league. um this is how he did that, starting like week 2. And who was it, like Will Levis, in any quarterbacks recently that have been fumbling and throwing picks and stuff have been
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
tackles, and everyone's like, oh my god, I lost to this
Dude,
team
that
that
is
had a
crazy.
shitty quarterback. He had 111 points. It's like,
That's
oh
so
my god.
crazy.
Yeah, so
I
anyways, that'd be an interesting one to throw into the mix of things, you
yeah.
know.
That would be something to brainstorm and talk about. I think
Just
we could talk
yeah.
about that next week.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
would be a fun little wild card type of throw into scoring
Yeah.
for fantasy.
Yeah. That's
Maybe we make
hilarious.
a fun league on the side of our normal league too. Just
Yeah.
whoever we draft in the normal league, we put we make another league and just pick manually enter all the players that we drafted in the
Right,
money
right,
league.
right.
And then we just be like, all right, for this league, if this shit happens, all of these
Can
crazy
can
things are
you,
gonna
as
happen.
a commissioner, since you know more,
Mhm.
can you do that? Can you like fuck around with the point system and be like,
Oh yeah.
for example, a touchdown equals 55 points, or
Oh yeah. Yeah. We set all the points. We just keep them mostly standard.
yeah.
So like,
I would
like,
be down to just do a fun free league with just a couple of us,
yeah.
where like our leagues are already ridiculous in terms of like drafting. But like it'll be like a crazy call where like yeah, like we should put us guys in a chat and see who wants to participate in a free league like that, just to
Yeah.
give it a trial run, and then we could brainstorm like what ridiculous like unlikely scoring scenario that would
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, I used to do that with my dad, and like it was like a family friends league that we had
Yeah.
going on when I was in high school, way back then, and even in early days of college, we had this league to where, like, obviously if like there was bonus points, right? So like if a receiver or a running back or something busted off and got a touchdown for over 50 yards, then you got 10 bonus points, and we're like,
oh
what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, oh man.
Well, we got in my other league, my dynasty league that I play in, we do have bonus points for 40 yards catch or more. But it's nothing ridiculous like 10 points. It's like, I think maybe like 4 points or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, we should do something like, can you do something where like you get 10 to 15 points if your kicker tackles the punt or kick return?
Yeah,
that would be
fun.
That would be sick, guys. All right. Anyways, that'd be something fun to talk about. That'll be something fun to talk about next week. Anyways, thanks, man. Have a good night. As we're signing off, I'd like to say, keep talking with each other, keep thinking together, keep growing together, and we'll see y'all next time.